Hello, hello, this is Paper Cuts Included coming to you live from the Ninja Turtle Sleeping Blanket, and that's I know it's legit. Today we're going to be looking at issue 2 of Batman The Long Halloween. Probably one of the most well known Batman books and one of my favorites. But if this is your very first Paper Cuts Included video, we are a comic book YouTube channel ran by me and my two co hosts, and we want to talk about what we love. And what we love is comic books, babies. We put art, books like this under the microscope, break it down to the atoms. We talk about the art, the artists, how they do it, what works, what doesn't, what do we do, how can we be better as artists, that kind of stuff. So if that sounds like something you're into, well, you're in the right place. So make sure to hit that notification bell so y'all can stay in the hottest growing comic book channel in the southern states. So let's get into it. This was one of the first probably Batman books I read. I don't read a lot of mainstream comics. I just don't. Although I've probably read more Batman compared to other big series, because some of my favorite artists have done Batman. Frank Miller, Mike Mignola. So Arkham Asylum is one of my favorite books. So how can I not talk about this? I love the artwork. I really this is my second read of it, and it's very interesting looking at it under a technical aspect this go around rather than an enjoyment as my first time. The artist Tim Cell, he's very interesting. It's Tim Cell, right? Yeah, Tim Cell. Tim Cell is a very interesting artist. His style either works really good or it doesn't. I don't think he draws that good of a Batman. Now, he draws a great Batman, don't get me wrong. A lot better than I could do. But I don't like muscular Batman. I don't think Batman should look like he has abs on abs on abs. And that's just me. So, and I'm never going to sit here and complain about people's art because at the end of the day, they're doing something that I haven't been able to do yet, and that's put out a comic book. I am a printmaker. I do art. I'll show off a piece I'm working on real quick, besides many other things. I'm still a art kid in college, so I'm working on painting right now. I worked to sell maybe a month or a month and a half ago, and I didn't really sell anything. I figured my stuff was too niche, so I figured I'd do stuff that more people know about. So this is going to be a Pokemon piece. I've been getting into that card game. It's been fun. I like card games. Comment down below if you are also into that. But no, so I'm going to try to make a couple Pokemon pieces, see if they sell, see if they don't. But hey, it gives me practice painting. But let's get into this issue so you can stop hearing me rant about my Pokemon problems. uh, you know. So before we actually get into the book, we're looking at the trade because I don't have any of the single issues. I think besides issue 11, I have two of those actually. But so this is issue 2, and what we do before we dive into any book is the cover successful? And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean like you gotta sell your book. As an artist, you gotta sell your book. You can't go into it thinking that you'll always be making books if you don't make money. Unless you got a rich daddy, son, that ain't happening. So you gotta sell your books, and one of the easy ways to do that: have a good cover, have an interesting cover. Think about people who walk into the store. If they see a really cool thing, they're gonna stop and pick it up. Some of my friends only buy books for the covers. They won't read a single thing inside of it, but yet they love the artwork. Some people buy comics just for the art, believe it or not. So, how would I judge this cover? When I mean successful, I mean, well, would I stop and pick it up? Would I look at it? Is it really good technical wise? Does it draw people in? I think it is. I think this is a great cover. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's a 9 out of 10. I think the coloring on each of them are amazing. That harsh orange, the almost minimalistic kind of, thing. I think it's going to have people stopping and looking at it. It just works for me. I think it works really good. Very stylized. You get to see what Tim Cell's art is just off the bat. You don't have to wonder what the inside's going to look like. So I think it's a 9 out of 10. Comment down below what you think. This is one of my favorite covers in this. I would say it's my favorite, but then I forgot what issue 3 looked like, and we'll see that at the end of this video. But no. So this series is picking back up with Harvey Dent's house getting blown up. Spoiler alert, that's his house. And a month later, it opens with Harvey Dent is dead with some great Batman art. Like my thing with Batman, the less you show, the better he looks. He's supposed to be, the shadow, or the bat, in the darkness. And I feel like this is a really good representation of that. It that has the subtle outlines in front of a a dimly lit room. It just works really good. I love it. I think it is probably one of the better Batman pieces in this book. It just works really good. Like this would be a great poster itself. You know, like if I had to describe Batman, I'd describe this page. And just some really good artwork. Tim Cell might not do my favorite Batman, but he is a very good character artist. You can't say his characters look alike. He is very good at drawing, especially heads, very good at details, in his stylized way. This is the Irish gang, and each of them looks very different, but also looks like they belong to each other. They all have big, bulbous noses, or just big noses. I guess not bulbous. Jimmy Slick got a little hawk nose. But I don't know. I think he's really good at that character art, and sometimes that's hard, but it's just good. He's not, falling to same person syndrome or same face syndrome. He's very creative, and that's something you could do in your own time. Is have a sketchbook dedicated to faces, or as part of your warm up, do two new faces you haven't thought of before. Or if you're watching a movie and you see a face you haven't seen before, sketch it, screenshot it. You have a memory bank of a sketchbook of faces, people, that kind of stuff. And I think that helps. That's part of my warm up sketch is I'll just draw figures, heads and all that kind of stuff, and that's let me do some of my favorite prints. So it the what's that saying goes? The proof is in the pudding. Just some good artwork. I love these two panels and then that third panel. You know, just think about how you can do it. Your compositions, your artwork. How does it, work? Like I think this is a great 2-page spread. I would never think to do it like that. When I try to make comics, I do one page at a time. But seeing stuff like this really makes me, remember that. Oh, I can think out of the box. I can do this. I can do that. I can combine it. 2 pages can become one very easily. I love Gordon in this. I think he looks really good. I love a good old mustache Gordon, big old glasses. I think it's always just a good look for him. And I really liked how he looked in the new Batman movie. Or I guess that's not really new at this point. It's almost 2.5 years old. But no, they found the guys who blew up old Harvey, with the master detective finding the very own nail that he bought. They tracked it from just a nail. A nail has a serial number. That they tracked to the supplier, who they tracked to the department store, and then they found a receipt of it. Hey, that's really good. I feel like a lot of times people forget Batman's supposedly this master detective. So I think that's a cute little moment and just really helps that whole Batman, world's greatest detective. Really good artwork with is it Mickey? Is his name Mickey? Yeah, Mickey. Mickey the Fit or Mickey I forget what his name is. If he has a name. Like because they all got some kind of name. I don't know. We're just gonna call him Mickey. But just really good artwork, I think. Really good face, really good facial structure. Just good art. I really like how Tim Cell does his darks, his inks. It just works really well. And I really like this Batman Mickey comparison. Mickey just looks so small compared to Batman, who in these situations should look imposing, should look more brutish. He could kick your butt without you even blinking. And I really like this page with, that circle of light getting smaller and smaller. And that's something to remember when you're coloring stuff or if you're having someone color your stuff. That green works really good, especially comparing to that purple. So just find a colorist who works with your style or a coloring that works with your style. A good coloring can put your black and white book on a whole nother level, but a bad colorist can ruin your book. Like some of the Ninja Turtle reprints don't look that good, in my opinion, those color classics. Whereas, I'm trying to think what's a good coloring I've seen. I don't know. Or I guess any Mignola stuff. Dave Stewart on Mignola looks really good. Or Dave Stewart on some of the first volumes of Shaolin Cowboy I really like a lot. You just got to find a colorist who can really work with you or, colors it a way that works good for you. If you hear kind of a scratching noise, that is my pet tortoise digging. He is our unofficial mascot of this channel. he doesn't care if I film or not. So sorry if you guys hear that. But no. So now we're recounting the tale of Mickey. With this is my least favorite panel in this book. I just like I said, I don't like muscular Batman. I, it just doesn't work in my opinion. I think it would look a lot better if they cut almost all of this out, have that be black, have the fist and the arm spines, arm blades out. You can leave that out, but all those abs, black those sons of guns out. We don't need that. We need imposing Batman. And like I said, the least you show Batman, the tougher and more cool he looks. I really like that panel with Mickey though. And this panel with the neon signs blowing up, that's incredible. I love that. All that ink just popping. It works really good. Although a muscular figure I do like to see, and I think Tim Sale does really good, is Solomon Grundy. Although I don't like that Batman. That head does not look like it's attached to that body. But when Tim Sale's style's on point, it's on point. And it's on point with Solomon Grundy. This is my favorite Solomon Grundy kind of look. It just works really good here, I think. Just got a giant undead Cyrus Gold, and it just works. And the coloring works really good. That white with all those kind of cooler dark tones just works really well in my opinion. And the gutters do too. This book is very formal with its gutters, and it really works. And if you don't know what gutters are, it's the thing that separates the panels. But I just really like it. Like, that's a great panel. Like I said, when his style is on point, it's on point really good. Him showing beating up, him and Solomon having a real quick fight, just works really good. I'm glad it's over in 2.5 pages. If this was a Marvel book, this would be its whole issue of them fighting in the sewers. But we got a lot of ground to cover. This is a 12-issue miniseries, or I guess saga is more like it. But no, it just works really good. And Solomon will be back. Because when I read this for the first time, I was like, oh no, he looks so cool and he's gone already. But no, he'll be back in this issue and in other issues. But no, it just works really good. I love Mickey's design. Those big old elephant ears works really good. It reminds me of like a Dick Tracy villain, like Flat Top or was it Carrot Head or Carrot Top. But no, love that coloring. I love this like sky coloring. It reminds me a lot of Batman Year One. But no, love cool to see that these line up. I didn't know if that was intentional or not. But the glasses of Alberto and the kind of the the grimace of the Batman. That's cool how they line up. The crime fighter and the son of the head mob boss. So that's cool. And just think about stuff like that. And this is also a very interesting way to show an argument. Is he's seeing them fighting, and we're seeing the reflection in his glasses, but we're not seeing him. We're seeing his nose, his brow, his glasses. Very interesting way. Tim Sale does think out of the box with some of his panel work. Not often. His panel work's very formal, very solid, but I do like the touches of creativity here and there. Man. And again, just really good character work. Like I said, just warm up sketch, draw a head you haven't drawn before, draw a nose you haven't drawn before, draw an ear you haven't drawn before, and it'll work really good. And just that's a really good compositional page right there too. Just all that all the figures, different perspectives, different positions, just really good. That is kind of a check mark when you're looking at art, is if an artist can pull that off. I know that I struggle with that still, but I haven't been drawing that long. I guess I shouldn't give excuses. Study, study, study. That's the name of the game. It takes 1,000 hours to get better. It takes 1,000 hours of you drawing at the table, and it takes 1,000 hours of you studying to get better. So looking at books like this is part of my 1,000 hours. Man, my tortoise just does not care that I'm filming, does he? Just digging away. Gonna dig a hole in this thing if he's not careful. But no, pretty cool to see all these figures. And that's how my sketchbook looks. Is I just straight view, looking straight at the figure, see what faces I like. If I like it a whole lot, I expand on them. But no, spoiler alert, Harvey Dent's not dead. They were trying to figure out, who, you know, they were trying to get them to admit that the Roman got them to blow him up, but they didn't. And Harvey doesn't want to charge him. He wants to get him, essentially killed by letting him go to the streets and saying that they took a deal. But Gordon don't like that. And in a funny joke, Harvey says why they'll just be bailed in an hour, and the joke is he was wrong. They were bailed in less than an hour. And this is kind of defeat for our trio: Gordon, Dent, and Batman, because Dent goes to the hospital where his wife's still recovering from the explosion. Gordon goes home late where his whole family's already off, having a great shadow to kind of signify how alone he is. This job takes so much from him, and I've always liked that about the character. Is a good artist, and a writer doesn't shy about how, tedious this job is on Gordon and his loved ones. And Batman shares it with Solomon Grundy, someone very special to him. I like that. I like how Batman cares for his rogues gallery. That's something I always like to see in heroes. Not people like Spawn, who shoots first, asks questions later. But and then the whole Irish gang celebrating, but not for too long, because they get gunned down in a great 2-page process. Whenever the I forget what killer they call him, but it's whenever they come up, they do it in black and white. Besides the color of the holiday, so this is taking place in Thanksgiving. So, and the other one took place in, let's see, that tortoise. I guess they didn't color the pumpkin. I wonder why. That's weird. But they color their cornucopia, to signify another holiday's gone that someone's been killed, and this time it's a whole gang, and just great. These pages, I remember even from my first reread. As an artist, or as a reader, you should always take away something from a book, and these uncolored but one thing colored pages always are in the back of my head. And that's the end of issue 2 with a great cover for issue 3 and a little treat to see who's next, and that being good old Joker. And I bet we'll cover this soon because I want to do a Christmas in July for this. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. It means a lot to us. It keeps this algorithm pumping out these videos to more and more people who like this style of content. I'd also like to apologize. I didn't do a video yesterday. I had a lot of personal things to attend to, but I will make it up and do a video on Saturday or Sunday to make sure that I'm not skimping out on videos. But if you find something you liked, subscribe. If you want to talk about something, talk about it in the comments. I love responding to comments. I respond to comment usually within the hour I get it, because I ain't got nothing better to do in summer. We are sitting at 48 subscribers right now. That's awesome. My goal for the summer is 100. It's only 52 more and we get there. Planning a celebration for our first goal, but we'll see about that. It'll probably just be a lot smaller than I envisioned. But I'm gonna get out of here and see what the heck my tortoise is doing. But I guess I'll send you on some marching orders, and I'm out of here. Make more art.